Hi guys, so February's now passed and my focus is now on March, and we know that we've got the number 23, which I think personally could break down into March 2nd, which is tomorrow. I'm going to take you through a couple of things and why I'm kind of looking at that date. I don't know if anything's going to happen, but there's a couple of indications that may be pointing at March 2nd, so I'm just going to point those out. So in this scene here with George Bush, just after the scene where it looks like he's been shot in the back of the head and he starts, behaving in this more menacing way. Behind him on the house here, it could be interpreted that the flame on this side is the number 2 and the flame on this side is the number 3. Now, obviously, the number 3 looks more certified than the number 2 in this frame, but it's just an idea. So that's one of the places where it's possible that it's talking about March the 2nd. The other place is here. So in this frame, you've got this character here, which if these 12 figures represent months as well as other layers of meaning, then you've got January, February, and March. Now on this March figure's head, you've got 3 dots here, which could give you another indication as to March. Then down here, we've got 2 lines. I don't know if you can see it, it's barely visible. You might have to get out like a HD quality video to watch this one, but there's 3 dots or indentations in the head here, and there's 2 lines down here. That could be saying March the 2nd again. So one on the chalkboard, one in this blue figure here. When we come outside the classroom, sorry, I haven't got the thumbnails. Come a little bit closer. Okay, so we're all familiar with the Psalm 23 that we've got here. It could just be representing March 2nd. Even the M could stand for March, I don't know. March 2nd, you've got 2 and 3 there. That could be the 2nd of March again, just there. And we go a little bit further. Bear with me, as I said, I haven't got the thumbnail, so I can't see exactly where I am. Just having to go from memory here. Should come after this sometime. Okay, here. So when the 3 airplanes come and they shoot their missile into this mosque, which when you kind of come out a little bit further, looks like a face lying facing upwards, with the closed eye here, the mouth, the chin, the nose. You can probably see it. If you haven't, then you can go back and watch the other video where that's pointed out. But these little things here, they could be just part of the overall building, or they could be representing 3 and 2, which again could be interpreted as March 2nd. And that's as far as I've really gone in the iPad Got video looking for the 2nd of March, because there's a number of dates that are popping up and needing to be looked into. But it strikes me as coincidental that, I've been posting these videos since the whole issue with the Florida shooting, and I've been keeping track on the progress that's going on with the NRA. And then you had Donald Trump come out and say some things that were a little bit shocking, especially for Republicans and for the gun lovers in America. So I'm just going to play it now.
You spoke about it, Mr. President, gun violence restraining orders. They're called. California actually has a version of this, and I think you, in your meeting with governors earlier this week, individually and as a group, we spoke about states taking steps, but the focus is to literally give families and give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process so that no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession of that individual.
Or might take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida, he had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
So I don't think I need to repeat that for you guys to kind of get the gist of what I'm pointing at there. Take the guns first, and then go through due process.
You can't buy a handgun.
That is something different. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people that support the NRA, and there's a lot of people who don't support the NRA. But I think one common theme around this whole gun control conversation is that taking the guns away is not the prerogative. It's not the goal of this gun safety talk, this whole topic on the gun safety that's been talked about. But if you take Donald Trump at his words literally, he's basically saying, if you're seen as a person with mental illness, now mental illness doesn't just cover people who go and shoot up schools or who cut themselves. Mental illness can be anxiety, depression, which, you know, I think, I don't have the actual statistics, but going off of what I think at least 80% of the people in the world have gone through some form of anxiety, have gone through some form of depression. Do you realize that this means PTSD, military veterans who come back with post-traumatic stress disorder will not be able to get themselves a gun, or if they do have a gun, it could possibly be taken away before it goes to court if what Donald Trump is saying actually comes forward. That's a big thing. It definitely smashes the Second Amendment. It doesn't support that at all. The Second Amendment basically says that every every American has the right to keep and bear arms. And though most of us understand that, yes, okay, there are some people out there who should not be given that right to own a gun because of what they do with it, in terms of endangering other people's lives or their own, to say that anybody with mental health illness could have their gun taken away before it goes to court, before due process, is startling to me. And I'm from the UK. I don't have any affinity with guns at all. But, you know, as I've said previously, I respect people's rights and to own those kind of things, and I respect the foresight of the founding fathers when they created the Bill of Rights. And I just thought that was stunning, so I had to kind of point it out. As I said, the iPad Goat video, and things like in Snoop Dogg's video, things that Donald Trump has said himself have been related to guns, and my whole thought is Donald Trump or a clone, twin, or impersonator of Donald Trump will get shot sometime this year. I don't know if it's the 2nd of March, but the way that the whole situation along the NRA, gun laws, gun control reform is going, with Donald Trump saying the kind of things that he's saying at the moment, it's possible that he could be shot in the next couple of days by someone from the NRA or someone who supports the NRA, or not even someone who supports the NRA, but someone who supports the Second Amendment. It could be a mentally ill person who disagrees with what Donald Trump is saying, and takes it upon himself to, you know, put some form of action in place in response to that. I really don't know what's going to happen there, but I thought it was, definitely something that had to be pointed out and keep your eyes on, because, I mean, just thinking about it along the lines of, you know, PTSD and anxiety and depression and those kind of disorders that a lot of people suffer with, that puts a lot of people in that bracket of being able to have their guns taken away without due process. So keep an eye on that. Looking at the date, the 2nd of March, I was just calculating some of the dates from or before the 2nd of March to see what kind of happened or if there's any significance. 70 days before the 2nd of March was the 22nd of December 2017. On that day, the United Kingdom's Home Office confirms the return of the blue British passport after the UK leaves the European Union. The new passports will be issued from October 2019, and this was the same day that President Donald Trump signed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 into law. So two very significant events taking place: the blue British passport coming back, which I'm in my 30s now, so I've never had a blue British passport. It's always been the red kind of European one, so that's going to be the first time that's coming back to the UK. And obviously the Tax Cut and Jobs Act was another significant bill that was passed, and nothing like it has been seen for a number of years. The next date that I came across was the 15th of December 2017, which is 77 days from or to the 2nd of March 2018. On that day, the European Union leaders agreed to allow the next phase of Brexit. The next date I looked at was the 5th of May 2016, which is 666 days from the 2nd of March or to the 2nd of March 2018. On that day, members of the British public head to the local polling stations to cast their vote for various governmental positions, including the Mayor of London. I think that's as far as I went. I was just looking into Brexit in general. Considering the number 70, 77 and 666 all appear to be associated with something to do with Britain, coming up on that date, the 2nd of March 2018, perhaps it is something to do with England that's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not sure, but obviously we still got the storm system, the beast from the east, laying snow down over here. And obviously from the iPet Goat video, we know that the scene is either a volcanic winter, a nuclear winter, or winter itself in general. And I believe this represents the Big Ben. Big Ben stopped on the 21st of August 2017 at 12 noon. This clock is frozen on 12 noon, which would kind of tie into the weather system we have now. If it is snow and it's frozen, then it's currently snowing now with the beast from the east storm system, and the clock, Big Ben, stopped at 12 o'clock. So that could be an indication that, something's going to happen in Britain tomorrow. I'm not sure, but that's just one of the interpretations that I'm bringing to you today. The last thing I kind of wanted to point out here in this video is this is the Ventusky weather system map. Kind of shows you temperature, precipitation, clouds, wind speed, wind gusts, air pressure, and the rest. And I just want you to pay attention to what's going to be happening tomorrow, which is the 2nd of March. At the moment, this is the kind of the beast from the east storm system that's coming over the UK. But look over here around New York. You'll be hearing about it in your local news coming up later on today and into tomorrow. But for now, you can just catch up with it here. So you're going to see right outside New York on the 2nd of March, roughly about 3 p.m.-ish, a storm system is going to start to develop out of here. And what I found peculiar about it is it kind of just materializes off of the East Coast, right outside of New York. So we're at 12 o'clock now on the 2nd of March, and we're coming into 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock now. And you can see the storm system's just developed outside New York. What I found peculiar about this is it materializes directly opposite New York, which is exactly where the Babylon Canyon is. And obviously the theory around the Babylon Canyon is that either they're just going to place some nukes down there and detonate it, or the Russian nuclear drone called or nicknamed Canyon with a K will shoot a torpedo into Babylon Canyon or self-destruct in Babylon Canyon. Now this is on the 3rd of March now. You can see how the storm system has developed. Really huge. Then we move on to another tracking system, and things start to get a little bit more sporadic as we look further into the future in relation to this storm system. So we're currently on the 4th, and the storm system is still there. So this is a system that is, pretty much sitting on the east coast of America for 3-4 days. Let's say from the 2nd, we're on the 6th now, so that's 4 days at least that this storm system is there. But what's interesting to me is, well, even more interesting to me, is as this storm system moves away and dissipates, another one follows right behind it and kind of sets up camp where the last one disappeared, or where the last one was. And this, obviously, weather is weather, you know, things happen, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, all those kind of things, they happen. But this is not really the season for hurricanes, so they're not actually calling them hurricanes, they're calling them, you know, cyclones and things like that. But essentially they're hurricanes, and they are forming in the Atlantic at this time of year, which is unusual. Even if we go back to like around the second, you can see like the second of March, roughly about 5 o'clock, you can see how large the storm system is. Excuse me. And over by England, there appears to be 1, 2, at least 3 that I can count, kind of cyclogenic storm systems just operating off of the coast there, southwest coast. So a lot to keep our eyes on. The alert warning is kind of short, you know, just a day, but I've been taking a little break and getting back onto it now. I can see maybe something for the 2nd of March, encompassing the 23 being kind of just 2 days after the whole speech by Donald Trump regarding guns and, you know, taking them away before going to court, and the whole issue that Donald Trump may I say, get shot, or something may happen in the UK, considering there's a lot of date significance in relation to 70, 77 and 666 to do with Brexit and the UK. So that's my video, guys. For you guys over here and where this storm will be affecting, take care along the coast. You're going to be seeing wave heights of like 6 to 8 meters, and that's coming along at high tide as well, because there's a full moon also, which is going to affect the waves too. So there's a lot of things coinciding that could possibly make this situation worse than it really should be. So even if nothing 9/11 style happens, just keep your eyes open, just in case there's any, you know, severe flooding or things like that. You guys enjoy the morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, and God bless.